Speaks. I'm Samantha Gindy with My Resource Library. Today's podcast is sponsored by Borgo. I'm sitting here virtually with Lucas Spassiani with Borgo. Hi, Lucas. Thank you for sponsoring our interview.
Samantha. You're welcome.
How are you doing today?
Honestly, really good. Things are starting to get back to normal here after COVID-19, so I'm excited. I'm happy.
Good. Glad to hear people are starting to get back to normal and somewhat. So we'll just dive right into it. So Borgo, can you give me the history of Borgo? Specifically, what does Borgo mean or stand for?
Okay, so my dad started the company back in 1984. So this is actually our 35th anniversary. And when he started the company, it was with two other gentlemen, and they were all from the same village. So Borgo in Italian means village. So they all came from the same Borgo in Italy, and they started the company here in Toronto. And now we're a manufacturer of predominantly seating, a lot of soft seating, common area seating, multi-purpose seating. Then we get into a little bit of healthcare as well and hospitality. We're kind of all over the place.
Awesome. Very cool. I did not know. I've known you for a little while. I did not know Borgo stood for village. It's very, very cool. So tell me about the team there at Borgo. You know, how many people do you have on the team, and what does that look like?
So we're a small company, so we're only about 20 people. And what's great about that though is we are able to be super flexible. So one of the key things I always tell people about Borgo is whenever you're talking to anyone here, you're literally either talking to a decision maker or you're a person away from a decision maker. So this way, when you get into kind of like more like custom orders or like onesies or twosies, we're easily able to do them. And it's not like moving an entire like huge machine around just to make it like a sofa an inch bigger or smaller, whatever it is. A lot of what we do is like heavily influenced by, I would say, Italian design. As like I spoke to you earlier, like my dad is from Italy. He's actually still an Italian citizen. So there's a lot of connections there. So we do we're trying to move to a more design focused company, and we're getting there slowly, but it's a process for sure.
Yeah. And what's your role within the company?
So what my role is now versus what I want my role to be. So I'm a little bit like, it's a family-owned business, right? You do a little bit of everything and anything. So like I'll be in the day-to-day stuff, like anywhere from production to, just helping people with like submitting purchase orders. My background is actually, I went to school for industrial design. So my background is like product design and furniture design. And hopefully we're starting to get there where I'm starting to get a little bit more into that role as we slowly move pieces in here where people are able to kind of move the company forward. But honestly, you'd see me everywhere and anywhere. So just never try to reach me on my desk phone because I'm never at my desk.
Too funny. Awesome. That's good. Well, yeah, I personally, I've worked with you for quite a while, on the manufacturer team. You're one of our main contacts that we work with the binder and making sure everything's, tip-top shape. And gosh, I think we met at, I believe it was one of my first trade shows at Healthcare Design back in 2014 in San Diego. I believe is the first time we met, which feels like just yesterday. But yeah, and Borgo's even been you've been a partner of My Resource Library even before I started with My Resource Library, which was in 2014. So we just want to thank you for being such a valued customer of MRL. You've been a great supporter.
I think we're actually I'm excited that we are a part of it because every time when you guys introduced Delve and even these podcasts, I saw this. I was like, wow, you guys are on the ball. You're always innovating and doing cool things. So I'm glad that we got on first because if we were any later, man, I don't think you'd have any time for us. Just a really popular guy, right?
Everyone's just as special as everyone else. No, not a problem. So what's next for Borgo? Do you have anything new and exciting coming up?
So recently we started to, based on just what's happening in the industry here in Toronto, we've been kind of forced to do a lot of stuff internally. A lot of our suppliers and vendors are slowly disappearing. So as years go by, we keep introducing new machinery and tools and automation into our company. So right now, it's been about a year now where we started making all our wood frames for our soft seat in-house. So this allows us to be really, really flexible when it comes to that. So you'll start to notice going forward, we'll be pushing a lot more soft seating product. I know for a while now we've had out the Privy, which is like a privacy pod that it's like a private place in public space, which is kind of perfect for right now. And so that kind of was like our foot in the door when it came to those kind of like privacy lounge pieces. So you'll start seeing us come up with more and more of that stuff, and just the options and variations and customization that we could do with that, just because now we have complete and total control over that part of our business. So you'll see a lot more going forward with products like that for sure.
That's great. Great. Awesome. Looking forward to seeing what you have. So I've heard from Jeff several times, and I've heard just in conversation from you that Borgo actually owns a vineyard outside of Niagara Falls. How does that happen? How did that come about? And tell me about that.
So again, this is like when my dad's eventually. My dad's like when you speak to him, he's an entrepreneur. Like any sort of like opportunity he can see, he definitely wants to take advantage of it. And once again, like who doesn't like wine, right? So like years ago, so the winery it's in the Niagara Escarpment, and it's called Vieni. So Vieni, again, similar to like Borgo means village, Vieni means come together. So again, everything's always about just bringing people together. And so like years ago, they want him and one of his partners in the winery, who also was a furniture manufacturer, but on the residential end of things. They bought this piece of land just that had grapes on it. And at the time they were just selling grapes to other vineyards. And then things kind of changed and they started making their own wine. And it's on, they're similar, like I feel like the business plan for Vieni is very similar to Borgo, where they do a little bit of everything. You got your reds, your whites, your sparkling, your ice wine, your sparkling ice wine. They started getting to distill, so they do brandies and grappas. And then now, because of COVID-19, they started taking the grappa, which is essentially like an Italian version of vodka or tequila, and they started making hand sanitizer with it. So now like our whole office smells like alcohol. You come in here and you think of it as a distillery.
That's funny. I don't know if that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
So of all the wine that you guys have, which one's your favorite?
No, it's funny. I honestly, only because like stuff you know stuff, because you introduced me to the Untapped app, that beer app where you just So, but unfortunately, because of what's going on, I don't get to go out as much and try like craft beers and all that stuff. So I've been drinking more wine. If you asked me this like 4 months ago, I would be like, I don't care. But now it's mainly just they have it's called Nouveau, and it's a French red wine, and it's a wine that I guess is when harvest it. Sorry, I'm not part of the wine industry, so I don't know all the terms, but it's considered a young wine, so it doesn't go through the full fermentation period as typical red wines do. So it's red wine that you actually would drink cold like you would most white wines. And it's just especially like, it's been, yesterday here was 95 Fahrenheit, so it's been hot and like just like, I know we're in Toronto here, eh? You figure
you're
snow
a little
still.
further north than me.
It's hot and it's humid here right now. So like just like refreshing like red wines or white wines are what it's all about right now for me.
Awesome. Yeah, I had a little bit of wine this weekend too in this hot weather, and wasn't a good choice. But it sounds like what you have is delicious. I hope that one of these days we can make it out to the Toronto area and maybe try some.
What I really I want to do a wine and chair pairing where you can take like a red wine or a white wine and pair with one of our chairs, and just like I talked about like how like the wine's robust or bold, this chair is bold. Like it's just, I mean, it's an idea that's always on floating around in my head, but you always get caught so much in the day-to-day stuff, you never get to kind of put some of these really like interesting ideas out there.
That's funny. Yeah, that'd be cool. Very cool. Well, I'm going to throw a curveball here and ask a more personal question here. So what's your favorite movie?
My favorite, it's funny. So every time I see Jeff's always just called me Teen Wolf. And you'll notice now I'm completely shaved because you can't wear a mask if you have facial hair, a beard.
Yeah.
And I wanted to this weekend. My goal was to watch Teen Wolf because that's what Jeff always calls me. So I had some idea of what's going on, but I did not. But my favorite movie literally would be because it's Finding Nemo. It's the only movie I've watched in theaters twice, and I know it's just Pixar movies and just the animation. It's the whole like brand behind that company, man. It's something I definitely admire. So definitely, I would say it's honestly Finding Nemo.
That's awesome. Yeah,
as childish as that sounds.
No, it doesn't. Pixar, I'm telling you what, Pixar movies, they get a full range of emotion from me. So there's not many, other movies out there that can do that.
You cried during Up, didn't you? The first part was just sad. Yeah.
Who didn't? Who didn't? It's horrible.
If you didn't cry during Up, you had no soul, right?
Exactly. Oh, it's too funny. So you had mentioned here that with your winery, you were creating hand sanitizer, which is great. I also heard that you guys were just internally there making face masks, for anyone else. Anything you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so during the break, we've been trying to I know a lot now about PPEs that I never knew before. Mm-hmm. So we did make some face masks. I mean, they're not they're good just for walking around kind of person, but they're definitely not medical grade whatsoever. And so we have been making masks from just reclaimed fabric or scrap fabric. It's still all new stuff. But we also at the same time too have been sourcing out 3-ply masks, which are just those blue surgical masks, or the KN95s as well. And we've been trying to get into gowns. So obviously we're upholstery, right? So, I mean, there's been times where we were making barbecue covers. So, I mean, making a gown should be simple enough for us. So we're kind of in the process of trying to work out that. The only issue is with trying to find suppliers to get the material in to make the gowns. It's all the supply chains are really kind of just, there's nothing left in a lot of them. So it's kind of hard to do what you want to do, but I mean, we're trying to keep busy. We're trying to help out the best we can.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really inspiring to see, so many people stepping up and helping out in this situation here. So really cool to hear that. Very cool.
Well, in a way, My Resource Library, just being able to get everyone's binders digitally, this is perfect. If we didn't have My Resource Library at this point, what would people be doing? The amount of brochures and stuff you'd have to be sending out, or emails, PDFs. This was a pre-COVID-19 plan.
We've been ready.
Yeah.
We've been finding just during this time that we've just been really busy just with so much coming in, and everybody realizing it is great to have everything in one spot, one good resource for everything. So it's been busy, but yeah, it's great to hear what everyone else is doing during this time, and very, like I said, very inspiring. Great. Well, if you had anything else to share about Borgo, anything that, anything, like I said, anything exciting, anything else you want to share?
I don't, it's been, I'll say I don't know. I really don't have anything else. Outside of the fact that I know I haven't sent you guys anything for that neocon at your couch scenario. And I know, and whoever, if you do put this in the podcast and someone does hear who works here, they're like, what, Lucas, what have you been doing this whole time? But it's been you would figure during the COVID-19 you would have more time to do stuff, but I feel like there's less time because now you're just trying to find solutions that you never had to look for before, right? So you kind of have to shift your whole business and the way you did things. But no, I'm glad. I think things are starting to come back to normal, and hopefully people will be able to travel again, because I'm very curious what's going to happen going forward with trade shows and stuff like that, because that was literally our biggest marketing expense typically was trade shows. Because we didn't have showrooms across Canada and the US, so that's why we were able to bring our products to people. So hopefully they find a solution for all this really soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how that's going to work. But yeah, like you said, the Chicago from Your Couch, it's it is so much time and effort and money is put into the show in Chicago, and this is just it's a free, or at least very affordable compared to certain prices.
Oh, 100%.
Out there. A great way to get your product out. So it's going through December, so it's not too late.
Which is awesome. We did a virtual conference last week because we're part of HCUI, which is Association of College Student Unions, something to that effect. And we were supposed to go to that trade show, but then they had to postpone it, obviously, but they decided to go ahead with this virtual conference. So they gave you like a virtual booth, and there was like the people were able to do courses and CEUs, and we had a keynote speaker. It was a very, very cool idea, and it went a lot better than I thought it would be, and I could totally see stuff like that going forward, because it just makes things, I mean, it makes it easier for people to attend, but it's also as an exhibitor, it was weird, because you just sat there and you're on a webcam like we are now, and you would just constantly keep presenting, and you would just hope that someone would like chime in. So I guess that's what it's like being on like TV or on the radio, where you're just talking and you constantly just keep repeating yourself over and over again. It's like, for those of us joining us here, we're just presenting Borgo, and this is what we do. But it was cool. It's something I could definitely get used to, though. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, great. I really appreciate your time, Lucas. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
No, honestly, I don't think so. I didn't come as prepared as you did.
No, you're fine. I'm winging this one too, but no, I really appreciate your time. It was great talking to you, learning a little bit more. I mean, we've known each other for a few years now, and it's always learning something new. So and we always appreciate your support. Like we said, you've been with us since the beginning, so you're always appreciated. So thanks for your time, Lucas.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it.